Hi there, just before we start the video, I'd just like to remind you that I have an email subscription list. You can find the URL for the list in the description for this video, or you can find it on my websites, russleach.com, comicbookblackbelt.com, or onlydeathcansavus.com. That's the name of the book, Only Death Can Save Us. I won't be filling your inbox up. It'll just be short bits of information about the book or things that are going on the channel. The book is a cosmic Bronze Age inspired journey. That's art and story. So if you like the way comics used to be, hopefully you'll really like this book. So that's it for now. Let's get on with the video. Hi there, welcome back to the dojo. This is Comic Book Black Belt. I am Russ Leach. I am the Comic Book Black Belt. This is episode 10, I suppose, the 10th video in a series of 13. Which follows my production on the Ben10 Magazine, produced by Panini and Cartoon Network in the UK. And it's really just a cataloguing of how my production and colour process came together over a period of time. So you'll see the sketches of the pages and the inks, and then the colour work and how that came together, and also have an idea about how I used layers and groupings and what have you. And you can see in the bottom right hand corner there the amount of layer work I was doing and how I ratified that down over a period of time, and really just to show you how I put the pages together and how the colours were produced. A lot of the backgrounds were supplied by Cartoon Network, which made life a lot easier. I had to repaint some of them myself on occasion, but I was able to repurpose a lot of the stuff from the shows. Obviously I had, this is not my usual style, it's a very cartoony style, and there were different aspects that I had to get a handle on. As you can see from the colour work here, I'd got to a point where I was actually using different coloured inks in the process. So my style was adapted, or I adapted to the style that was required, the house style for Cartoon Network, but also adapted the techniques I used for inking as well, so that I could go straight to the colour work, because I knew that I needed to do the whole job right the way through to colours, rather than giving the inks to a colourist who then had to colorise certain aspects of those inks. So I knew that I could do certain lines in certain colours, and that made a big difference to the way that I produced the work. So we go into the next page. This was issue 10 of a 13 issue run. I would say the story was not my favourite story, but it had some really cool aspects to it, like drawing forearms as kind of like a cute baby version of himself, and being able to, I was really able to get into some of the backgrounds and reuse assets from the show, which I felt made the comic book look even more like the show. And from the very outset, my aim was to make the comic book look as much like the show as possible, like you were watching stills from the show as part of the comic book. Now they obviously couldn't use stills from the show, because that would mean you would literally stilt. it would make the writing of the issue very difficult. The writing of the story, you had to be able to generate new artwork to make a story viable. But I wanted to make it look like it was directly straight out of a show. There we go, straight in again to the pencils, where forearms was a cute little version of himself. And as you can see, what I'm doing here is colouring in the characters and shading and highlighting those characters and dropping them over the top of backgrounds in much the same way as you would do in an animated piece, and then put on special effects like the knocking on the door, or the way that baby Ben 10 had reduced down from forearms Ben 10, so you can see the sort of the shadowed version of him behind him to add to that special effect, and also reusing of the interiors of the camper van as well. So that I was quite pleased with that page. It looked really good. And then he also had to, I think it's grey matter, also had to be normally the way that the stories were worked out is that you got two different aliens in one story. One alien kind of got him into the mess and the other one got him out, or something along those lines. So this is where that changed, and you can see again the special effects being layered in over the top of the characters, and then the backgrounds being layered in behind those characters. So you also, like the guys that are out at the window at the door there, I had to put a layer over the top of them to knock them back so that it would look like they were looking through glass rather than being present with the rest of the characters. So there were lots of different techniques I had to bring to the colour aspect, which, to be honest, I'd not done before. So it really was a development of my own skills, as well as sort of pushing how far I could go visually with the stories, and how far I could take them. These last few pages came out really well. I was really pleased with that bottom panel, the way he had to jump inside the technology of the sort of the ray gun umbrella thing that this bad guy had, and sort of play with the mechanics to mess it up so that the story could be taken to its end. You see here I'm actually putting in different shades as well, so I'm building up levels of shadow and depth. And then up in the top panel there, so you can see again characters being overlaid on backgrounds, and in the top panel I've got the opportunity to add in some lighting as well, and it really was quite effective. Let's see, I'll just turn it off and on. There's seeing the lighting in the other panels there, and then take that light so it's coming in through the door and highlighting the characters. So that really worked well. Very, very pleased with the way that came out. You can see that working. So like I say, with all of these videos in this particular series, it's just really to catalogue my mistake here, because I flattened the whole piece. Luckily it all gone to print after before I ended up flattening this particular piece, so I can't really show you how those special effects worked, but it's roughly similar to what I've shown so far. And again, the lighting on the characters, it's very simply done, but simply done with multiple layers, and it builds up a really great effect. So as I was saying, these pages are showing you what I've done on these pages and in these stories for the magazine. It's really all about my progression, documenting that progression, and hopefully helping you to see how I've done that, and maybe spark off some ideas for your own production. If you have any questions about the techniques I've used, or if you just want to chat about your own techniques or chat about your own art, leave me a note in the comments section, and I'd love to talk to anyone about this kind of stuff, about the art that's going on here, my production techniques, or if you have any yourself that you want to discuss with me. But that goes for all the work that you see on the channel, and I'm always open to discussion and chatting about those kind of things. So that's about it. That's the last page. Like I said, really quite pleased. Not my kind of style at all, not the thing I would normally do, but very much enjoyed the book and enjoyed pushing myself and doing different things, which is very important for all artists and all production people, to try and get as many as much variation in their work as possible, and try to find new ways of doing things. And even though this wasn't my normal style and the way that I normally draw books, it did actually it helped me it advanced my storytelling skills without a doubt, because I wasn't able to rely on a detailed piece of artwork. It had to be very direct, and because the style was a much more simplified style, it meant that I had to be very obvious with the storytelling and the action, and that's always a good thing, to make storytelling the key, to make it the pinnacle of what you're doing, because that's what it's all about. Comic strip at the end of the day is telling the story. The art comes secondary really to making sure that you get the message and the story across. So thanks for watching the video today. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much for subscribing. It means a huge amount, people that subscribe on YouTube and on BitChute. If not, why not hit the subscribe button and follow what I'm doing. As I mentioned at the start of the video, I've got an email subscription list. Jump on that so that I can keep everybody informed. Don't worry, I won't be filling up your inbox. It's just when there's important things, and also about my new book, Only Death Can Save Us. You can get all the links in the description of the video for all my websites, and for onlydeathcansavus.com, and the connection to the email list. And if you like the video, please hit that like button, that's always good. And I think that's about it. So thanks very much again for coming and watching today, and I'll see you with another video again in the dojo real soon. Bye bye. Thanks for watching Comic Book Black Belt. If you've enjoyed the content from this video, please like, share or subscribe, and come over and follow me on Twitter. It's been great having you in the dojo. See you again soon.